Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to my gregarious world. After saying goodbye to San Diego, we enjoyed 5 days at sea before arriving at the port of Nawiliwili on the island of Kauai, Hawaii. Earlier this year, we sailed on a transatlantic repositioning cruise on the NCL Norwegian Pearl. If you want to check out my review of that trip, I'll drop a link in the description below. Our experience at sea with NCL left us feeling like there weren't many activities or entertainment options available on sea days. The Pearl had some decent evening shows, but during the day it was mostly trivia, origami, ping pong, Uno, and a couple of game shows. We found it difficult to identify activities that really appealed to us. It was a pleasant surprise to discover that this was not the case on the Holland America Zaandam. Karen and I browsed the itinerary on the Holland app and identified many interesting travel lectures, cultural presentations, and activities. It was a bit overwhelming at times, often with 2 or more activities that appealed to us being scheduled at the same time. If you want to join us on our 51-day adventure in the South Pacific, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell. Plus, we're having a giveaway. If you subscribe and drop a comment below, you'll be entered to win a Tahitian Pearl that we purchased at the famous Robert Wan Store in Papeete. And if you share this video, you'll get an additional entry. Just comment again that you shared the video. You can enter once for each Tales of the South Pacific episode, so keep tuning in and sharing your thoughts. And you never know, we just might throw in some extra goodies to add to this giveaway along the way. You've got until March 31st, 2025 to enter. We'll pick a winner on April 1st and release a video that day announcing the winner. Please note that this giveaway is for those sharing and commenting on our South Pacific series only, and the prize can only be sent to a US address. Also, YouTube isn't involved in this giveaway at all. See our giveaway rules in the description. On day 2, our first full day at sea, our Hawaiian cultural ambassadors conducted a lei-making class in the crow's nest located at the front of the ship. Karen was eager to participate in this class, so while she engaged in the art of lei-making, I found a tranquil spot to enjoy a book. The ambassadors welcomed everyone with a song. Shared a brief history of the kukui nut. They guided the attendees in creating a kukui nut lei, providing all necessary materials. At the conclusion of the class, guests were able to take home a beautiful kukui lei as a keepsake. Upon the conclusion of the lei-making class, Karen and I proceeded to the world stage to attend our first Coffee with Daniel program.
Here we go, 10 o'clock, starting in 10 minutes time. Our coffee in the world stage. Join me for a get to know you coffee chat. That's going to be in the world stage at 10.
This event is a live talk show format in which the cruise director, Daniel, engages in interviews with various members of the Zaandam staff, including officers, chefs, and entertainment personnel. As we entered the world stage, refreshments such as coffee, tea, water, and cookies were available. The guest for today's session was none other than Daniel himself, who shared insights about his background and career trajectory before opening the floor to audience questions. Coffee with Daniel was a popular activity and seats filled quickly, so we always made sure to get there early. Right after the Coffee with Daniel event, we remained in the World Stage Theater for Daniel's 45-minute presentation titled Hawaii Up Close, Jewels of the Pacific. This presentation provided highly informative insights into the islands of Hawaii. The main dining room is available for lunch at sea, exclusively on sea days. We took advantage of this opportunity to have lunch there before returning to the world stage for a presentation by Kainoa, our Hawaiian and Polynesian expert lecturer. He discussed the geology and geography of Hawaii, explaining the formation of the most isolated island group in the world. After Kainoa wrapped up his presentation, we stuck around to catch Michael Adams, an Australian author and podcaster, discussing the Titanic disaster. He was an interesting speaker, and at the end, he shared that his great-great-uncle was the bosun on the Titanic. Every day at 4 p.m., we made our way to the Ocean Bar for happy hour. From 4 to 5 p.m., any drink that costs $15 or less is 50% off. The same deal is available at the Crow's Nest Bar. We skipped purchasing the drink package, and it seemed like most guests did the same, so a lot of people were enjoying those half-price drinks. In fact, the servers encouraged us to take advantage of happy hour to stock up on beer or pop, which could be taken back to your room unopened. They would gladly provide a 6-pack carrier if needed to transport your drinks to your room. Although I didn't try it, other guests, and even the servers advised me that they would gladly exchange an unopened warm beer for a chilled beer at any time in the pool areas. So many guests would stock up during happy hour and then exchange beers as desired the next day by the pool. And since our dinner reservation was booked for 5 p.m. daily, happy hour finished right on cue, letting me grab a glass of wine at half price to take along to dinner. After enjoying a tasty dinner in the main dining room, we rushed over to catch the 7:30 p.m. show at the World Stage. Zaandam's repertory company put on It's a Swing Thing, featuring an incredible lineup of 4 singers and 4 dancers. The whole performance was a fantastic mix of jazz music and dance. Every time this group took the stage, the 7:30 p.m. show was packed. Finding a seat was a challenge, and on many nights guests would start lining up long before the doors opened. They were a very talented group of performers, and we made it a point to catch every one of their shows during our cruise. So here's our room service breakfast this morning, starting with a pot of coffee, cream, and sugar. And in here, we have granola. Over here, we have a passion fruit yogurt. Look at that. That looks yummy. And we ordered not a full breakfast, but we've got the American breakfast without eggs. After breakfast in our cabin, we headed to the Crow's Nest. I took some time to read while Karen participated in the sarong workshop.
Bring them together. So you have your 2 open ends and your closed end. All right? And again, this is hamburger. Bring them together, folding it in.
The cultural ambassadors were awesome, demonstrating different ways to wear a sarong. They really showcased their Hawaiian culture, and we both enjoyed their presence on the ship. We then made our way to the World Stage, eager to snag a spot for a presentation featuring the Shore Excursions Officer and Kainoa. Kainoa is an expert on Hawaii and the Polynesian Islands, and we were very impressed by his vast knowledge of the South Pacific. Karen and I really got a lot out of this presentation. Even though we didn't sign up for many shore excursions with the ship, Kainoa and the Shore Excursions Officer shared some great insights and ideas about what we might want to check out on the islands. Once we had wrapped up a jam-packed morning of activities and lectures, it was time to grab lunch in the main dining room. I made sure to include the lunch and dinner menus whenever possible. Down the line, I'll be putting together an episode that dives into the main dining room and the tasty dishes we enjoyed during our 51 days on the Zaandam. Next up on the World Stage, we welcome 2 of our navigation officers, who provided us with a look at the Zaandam's navigation system and the tech they use on the bridge. Instead of going back to the World Stage to hear Kainoa discuss Hawaiian migration, we chose to take a leisurely stroll on the promenade deck for some fresh air and a bit of exercise on this gorgeous sunny day at sea. And who knows, I may have even grabbed a quick nap afterward. At 3 p.m., we enjoyed an English-themed tea in the main dining room, complete with scones, finger sandwiches, and a variety of pastries. We only lingered long enough to taste a few of the treats before rushing back to our cabin to freshen up for our 5 p.m. dinner reservation. We had a nice laid-back dinner before going to the world stage to see Patrick McCullough, an Irish comedian and magician. The magic tricks were pretty straightforward and not the best, but he was more of a comedian and we really enjoyed the show. For breakfast, we decided to order room service again. Karen and I found that it usually came about 10 to 15 minutes early, and the kitchen was great at fulfilling special requests if you wrote them on the menu card. For example, I like to ask for half a grapefruit or a pork banger, neither of which was on the menu. They really did their best to make us happy, especially when it came to those off-menu items. At 9 a.m. in the Crow's Nest, our Hawaiian ambassadors led a session on how to weave lauhala bracelets.
We love spending time with you. We love sharing our culture, our history, our language, our aloha with all of you.
I picked a comfy spot to read while Karen took part and had a great time. They provided all the supplies and instructions needed. As soon as the bracelet making class wrapped up, we attended another coffee with Daniel. Today, he was joined by Murat, the food and beverage director, and chief executive chef, Kamal. During dinners in the main dining room, Chef Kamal was frequently interactive with the guests. He often walked around the main dining room, stopping to leisurely chat, gather feedback, share recipes, and respond to questions. Once we finished lunch, we wandered through the Crow's Nest and found the Hawaiian Cultural Ambassadors running their daily hula class at 2 p.m. Karen opted out, but it was great to see others getting into the hula spirit.
Yeah, okay. Ehuli, ehuli, ehuli mako, ehuli. Come and turn with us. Ehuli mako. Komaka, your eyes. Kolima, your hands. Kokino, your body. Yes. By your heart.
There's also a daily ukulele class at 11 a.m. that we missed. Before we arrive at our first port in Hawaii, there will be a hula and ukulele performance on the world stage for those who want to flaunt their new skills. We did, however, hear Michael Adams discussing the Australian who played a crucial role in saving JFK, specifically referring to the Coast Watcher who assisted in the rescue. This individual was instrumental in the recovery of Kennedy and his crew following the sinking of their PT-109 vessel by a Japanese destroyer in the Solomon Islands. Karen and I enjoyed afternoon tea at 3 o'clock, and today's theme was all about cupcakes. The top tier of the tray featured 4 different cupcakes. The middle tier had some delicious scones and other sweet treats, and the bottom tier contained finger sandwiches. With a glass of wine in hand from happy hour, we headed to the main dining room for our 5 p.m. reservation. Our dinner routine usually involved ordering 1 or 2 appetizers each, such as a warm soup and a crisp salad, alongside a main course. We love to share a pasta dish placed right in the center of the table. We can't forget about dessert, which is always a treat. The waiters were wonderfully attentive, but the duration of our dinner experience was a bit unpredictable. Some nights we'd finish in less than an hour, while other times it could take almost 2 hours. The spotlight tonight was on Felice Garcia, a singer who gained fame during her 2-year stint in the Tony Award-winning musical $1 Million Quartet at Harrah's in Las Vegas. Supported by the ship's show band, her vibrant show, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, was a heartfelt tribute to the legendary women in music from around the world. After the show wrapped up, we decided to spend some time in the casino. For the first week of our cruise, we made it a nightly habit to visit the casino. But sadly, the slot machines were quite stingy, as confirmed by other passengers. And after a string of frustrating evenings, we shifted our focus back to our cabin to map out the next day's plans. Our room stewards entertained us with an assortment of towel animals, and let's not forget those Lindt chocolate truffles that awaited us each night. I always took a moment to read through our copy of the Daily, which outlined the next day's activities and helped me in organizing our plans. It's also worth mentioning that the Daily was our go-to for reliable information, as the Holland America app was often incorrect. Every morning on a day at sea, I would wake up early and hit the gym. The fitness center provides towels, cold damp face cloths, and sanitizing wipes, and is well equipped with a variety of weight machines, treadmills, stationary bikes, ellipticals, and free weights. Today, Coffee with Daniel featured our cruise director interviewing our 4 Hawaiian cultural ambassadors.
Please join me in welcoming our Hawaiian cultural ambassadors. Welcome to
Throughout the day, there were several creative activities we missed out on, including creating designs from doodles, origami, coloring for adults, modern brush lettering, towel folding lessons, crochet basics, and painting with watercolors. A number of guests found more active pursuits, engaging in activities like pickleball, tai chi, golf, putting, ping pong, ballroom dance hour, and line dance lessons. And many participated in games like mahjong, bridge, bingo, trivia, and 9 p.m. game nights. After our lunch at sea in the main dining room, Kainoa took the world stage to talk about the history of hula, revealing how the dance tells the story of Hawaii and its people. We had a delicious afternoon tea at 3 p.m. Today's theme was French. And the top tier of the platter was filled with French pastries, including madeleines. Today, our happy hour server was very persuasive, and for the first time convinced me to buy a bucket of beer. With it being 50% off, I couldn't resist taking some back to the room. The room stewards would keep a couple of beers on ice for me, making it easy to grab one before heading to the pool or before the show at night. As previously mentioned, if you don't have a drink package, it's definitely worth it to pick up some canned or bottled drinks during happy hour and keep them in your room. Each day at 5 p.m., Crow's Nest hosted an Aloha Sunset Music Hour with our Hawaiian cultural ambassadors. Unfortunately, we had dinner reservations at that hour, but we did get to experience the show once before arriving in Hawaii. We very much enjoyed the hula dancing and the ukulele tunes. What a fun night at the beer fest in the Lido Dome pool area. It was all decked out like a Bavarian beer garden, with the Ocean Bar Band playing some lively polkas. There was no shortage of beer and tasty German dishes like knockwurst, spätzle, sauerkraut, and pretzels with mustard. On our final day at sea before reaching Nawili Wili on the island of Kauai, we had a special and delicious Alaskan brunch in the main dining room. The Mahjong Theater was turned into a gourmet kitchen for a fun cooking show with executive chef Kamal and our cruise director Daniel. We learned how to make spaghetti with shrimp and clams and miso glazed Hawaiian ono. There were cameras set up above the cooking area that streamed everything to TV screens, so we didn't miss any of the action.
The recipe is like a miso glazed Hawaiian ono, kimchi potato salad. That's a basic dish we want to show you.
Numerous guests were excited to experience the Hawike show, put together by our Hawaiian cultural ambassadors. The Hawaiian word Hawike means to show or exhibit, and this event allowing aspiring hula dancers and ukulele players to take the stage and show off their newly developed abilities.
We're going to a hooky loud, a hooky loud.
This afternoon, we enjoyed a royal Dutch tea that included a variety of tasty Dutch pastries, including the stroopwafel. After dinner, we briefly stopped by the tiki party at the Lido Dome pool. As people began gathering here after dinner, there was a DJ playing party music and the tropical drinks were flowing. We opted to make our way to the world stage for an engaging port talk and Q&A session led by Daniel and Kainoa, focusing on our initial destination at the port of Moorea. Each day before we docked at a new port, Daniel would deliver an insightful presentation packed with essential details about the upcoming stop. He would cover everything from the weather forecast to the local language, accepted currency, emergency contacts, and must-see attractions. These Q&A sessions were always packed, absolutely essential for anyone looking to make the most of their visit. As soon as the Q&A with Daniel and Kainoa wrapped up, the audience was treated to another performance by the Irish comedian and magician Patrick McCullough. Then we made our way back to our cabin to prepare for our day in the Willy Willy, stopping first to say goodnight to our cabin stewards, Osmond and Alan. I want to give a huge shout out to our cruise director Daniel. He put together an outstanding itinerary for this entire legendary Tales of the South Pacific cruise. There were so many activities that we couldn't even fit them all into our daily schedules. See you in the Willy Willy. Cheers. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on new episodes. And don't forget to comment below for a chance to win in our giveaway. In the next episode, we're making our first port of call in Willy Willy. I'll show you everything we experienced there and more.